Yeah, I burst into tears last night because it like I could see the beauty, but I'm still always seeing like what's not done yet, you know. But this wall begins with a human heartbeat graphic that's almost 4 feet tall. It runs from one heart to another, and it reminds people that, you know, we're all radiant beings, you know. We used to have an infrared theater where people could see themselves projected, and they weren't white or black or any other color. They weren't old or young. They were just their radiance, their heat signature, you know. So that's something we all share. Is that
so it says evil begins when you begin to treat
people as things. That you brand them, even like sexually you objectify them. You know, you can treat them badly because they're a sexual object, they're not a person, you know, or you can bomb them or whatever. And that, so what we're saying is like everybody who suffered is somebody along the line did not see them as a sacred other, but as something that they could destroy. And so it begins here with the work of a particular survivor from Rwanda, and then Lily Ye's commentary of what life was like, the peaceful life before the war started, the 100 days of slaughter, and what happened during, and then the aftermath. So here you also have on the bottom all of our truth and reconciliation quilts in our permanent collection, which were for people who didn't, they gave oral histories and they made these tapestries. This is part of our permanent collection as part of the truth and reconciliation process. So it was, and these are their stories that were recorded next to their work, and that runs underneath of everything else there.
So one of the things that I love is the way in which you've woven together. One of the things that I love is the way that you've woven together these other stories with my mother's, because these stories are still of the present or the not so distant past, and it brings my mother's story into the present and what's happening in today's world. It's so fantastic. And with the truth and reconciliation embroideries, it's the same medium. It's women using needle and thread to tell a story of the horrors that they faced in their lives. And I love Lily Ye's work in Rwanda, that she brought our book to share with these people who had experienced this incredible devastation and loss in their lives. And just like in my mother's picture, her life, the life that these people had before this genocide, where they were, the cows and the
log house.
growing and the log,
Yeah.
the log house.
Yeah, and the children playing and the flowers, the love of nature, you know.
How beautiful. And then what they lost, and expressing this through art, because art can convey emotion.
Well, that's why the healing began in Rwanda when Lily showed them your mother's work and what she had been through, and in telling her story, it opened them to be able to share the unspeakable.
And when you told me about this, my first thought was to think about what my mother would have said, what Esther would have said, to know that her work found its way to Rwanda and then was shared with people who also, like her, went through this incredibly huge loss. It's just remarkable.
I want you to see Anna over here for a minute before. Anna, I want you to show Bernice the work you did on the house.
Oh, I'd love to. Okay. It was my pleasure.
So this is unbelievable. This house, this recreation of my mother's childhood home. I mean, I don't know if it ever looked quite this good in real life, but it's beautiful. And the chickens. Do you see the chickens? The chickens are I am absolutely stunned by the recreation. I am absolutely stunned by the recreation of Esther's house. Here it is in her picture with the thatched roof, the yarn thatched roof, and then here it is live.
And her cow came too.
And the cow came too, and the thatching on the roof, and the flowers and birds on the side here, and the chickens. The chickens are unbelievable. That is so great.
And look at the lace curtains we found.
Yeah, with animals.
Yeah, all the things your mom loved, the bunnies and the different, chickens and everything.
That is so great. Just the and the mezuzah on the door.
We found an old one in our registrar would not let us buy off of eBay, not knowing whether it was
the provenance.
Yeah, so one of our staff, I showed an antique Polish one from pre-World War II. So she copied it, and she got it all right. The ship is a little funny, but she put her heart in it. So, yeah.
Does the door?
Yeah.
Wow. I love this dress here.
Every way we looked at what your mother had sewn, even these kind of rocks.
Yes.
We really tried, and that's Bob's, brilliance of getting it together. This went up at like 2 o'clock this afternoon. We had it. It's very carefully built, but so we were like,
wow.
Yeah. And that is from a 93-year-old Polish artist named Atan Mazur. And he makes out of very common things. It's my chandelier that I'm giving to this for 5 years. All the angels playing. So let's get in on the... So again, this wall is like what it's like before. It goes from the home to what was like for your mom when she was swimming in the streams with her brothers and sisters and leading the way for Shavuos to her grandmother's on stilts. That's still one of my favorites.
Mine too, because it's a beautiful picture, and I love the embroidery, the wheat sheaves in the border, but it's her perception of herself, her character, that she's walking head and shoulders above the rest of her brother and sisters, and she's leading the way.
Yep.
That was, standing on stilts as she walked to their grandparents' house. Yeah, she was amazing. Actually, she was amazing in how she could, with no background in it whatsoever, she could create an image that captured her memory, and it captured some essence of the experience. In that picture, walking through these beautiful wheat fields, but also it captured her personality, her character.
There's a great time in the film that Nina caught that I love, because anybody who's ever had a sibling knows this, where Manya's sitting with your mother, and your mother says, when the grandfather Jadek took her in, and he said, you can have any of the land, you do with it what you want, and she said, and I was in charge, and Manya goes, it's just like,
she said, so I was the boss.
Yeah, so I imagine like, it was so great.
But she was.
Sure.
When she said, so I was the boss, all of us just cracked up because she was.
That was her present.
That was
That's what survived. Oh, I wanted to say Holly Gudelski Stone and her husband George gave a very generous grant to help us do this. And her mother-in-law, George's mom, lived to be almost 106, and she was Norwegian Jewish. And everybody's survival story is different. And she was saying that she had ordered, she knew that the Nazis were coming to Norway, but she wouldn't leave until the nail polish remover she had ordered came in. And then they finally came in, and she and her girlfriend skied for several days up the high mountains. And their matches were all damp. They would have died of exposure. But for her vanity, the nail polish remover was able to, just with a little spark, kindle the fire and save their lives. So everybody, writes their own Torah in this life. It's their own personal story. So we're going to hear a lot more. Yeah. So let's go around here.
Yeah.
I want you to keep